Uh, Greg, wonderful to see you today, my friend. Wonderful to see
Hello,
you.
Tech Talk, Tony.
Yes, yes.
See,
We're
I know you had a copy with Gregory. You had a copy with Tech Talk, Tony.
that's right. That's right. I'm a professional, as you know.
Yeah, had to get that alliteration down, baby.
That's right. That's right. If you could say it 5 times over, you're good to go. Okay.
Hmm.
And by the way, you can subscribe to customers, audience. You all you have to do is point your camera at the QR code to subscribe. There'll be great leaders just like Greg here. By the way, Greg, I was trying to recall, when did we meet? Was it through an HDI meeting?
It was through an HDI national conference
Okay. Okay, great.
somewhere back over the years.
That's right. That's right. And I think if I recall correctly, my memory is not always great, but I think it was in New York. It was in New York. And up there, you had actually given a presentation that I really enjoyed. And it was about teams, which we're going to talk about today,
Right.
but really very engaging, really got us thinking. And I just, ever since then, I've been a fan of yours. And I appreciate, by the way, you also letting me come, out to your pad there and spend some time with you last year.
Yep.
Just, I think, it's wonderful to have friends in great places.
Oh yeah. So I'll expect the favor to be repaid when I head to the Pacific Northwest up there.
You got it. You got it. Listen, I've got an extra room here, and if I have to, I'll push one of my kids aside. But no, the deal is I
I
also
don't
have
think that would be a good idea, but
they,
okay, we'll go with that.
they
We'll
might,
go with
oh,
that.
hopefully they don't hear this recording. Anyway, well, great. Today you're here joining me on Tech Talk Tony for sharing about your One Team, One Dream book, which I'm
Yep. Right
really,
here.
yeah, that's great. I'm really excited to hear about this. We're gonna pick just a couple of things. This is awesome because I get to grill you a little bit, right? I was in your class and there were questions I had to answer. Now, sorry, my friend, it's your turn. So here we go.
Yep. I call that TAFP. Turnabout's fair play.
I love that. I love that. Well, the first question we've got here, not a biggie, but on your One Team, One Dream book, can you
Hmm.
help explain intrinsic and extrinsic motivators?
Yeah. So think about it this way.
Yeah,
An extrinsic motivator is something that is extrinsically. In other words, somebody gives you a $10 for doing a good job or something of that nature.
right,
Don't get me wrong, it motivates. Somebody says you can have a day off.
right.
A lot of organizations, they have managers can give them a day off just like that. Just, hey, here's an arbitrary day off for doing a good job. Those are all extrinsic type motivators.
Right.
And because while they do work and they can work exceptionally well, they tend to last about as long as whatever you've given them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. One of the things I talk about is giving somebody an almond joy bar, making sure they like coconut.
Mm,
Okay.
right. Right.
Because almond joy's got that. So if you gave that to me, that's not really working. So I have a 15 book of favorites that you can do and get things like that, ideas, and they're great. But understanding it's what they really, really want. So
Right.
that's part of it. I've even said, hey, just give them a can of Mountain Dew soda because Tony, you have a can-do attitude.
That's
So
right. I love that. I love that.
it's corny, and I know it is, but guess what? The corny factor sometimes really works. Lifesaver candies is another one. Somebody's been a lifesaver to you. A pack of extra gum because somebody went the extra mile. All
Uh-huh.
those are cute little silly things
Yeah.
that fit into an extrinsic motivator. And like I said, they're great. So there's a lot of things. But an intrinsic motivator is something that hits them internally here, inside of them. It
Okay.
could simply be a post-it note that you leave on their computer, or a simple little, hey, I just want to let you know I was thinking about you. I think you did a great job on XYZ last week.
Right. Right.
You just got to be specific. Now, that's managers can do that, obviously. But guess what? Motivation is just as important coming from your peers and your colleagues.
Right.
Somebody did something really, really well. Let them know it. Pat them on the back. Again, when we're doing all the remote work, it's a little challenging these days. So we've got to stop and think about it as opposed to when we walk by somebody's desk, pre-pandemic.
Right.
So
Right.
there's all of those things that start to come into play. So we got to be really, really careful about what we're doing, but we still want to make sure we're hitting those intrinsic motivators, something that means something to somebody else.
Right.
So if you know something about your people, okay,
Yeah.
learn about them, then you can give them something that means something to them.
I love that.
Okay. For example, me, anybody listening, I'm Ghirardelli 72 cacao chocolate. Okay, that's me. If you want to send me cacao chocolate 72 dark chocolate sea salt, that's wonderful. I'll take it.
Right. I'm recording this, so you're gonna
So that that's what I like. But it's some people are different. But if you
right.
know something somebody likes, when you do it for them, my late wife was the most incredible gift giver.
Right.
She knew everybody on our list. And while we might get them a Christmas ornament at Christmas time or something like that, it was always something that fit for them and their style for what they did.
Yeah.
And it really meant a lot to the people, and not just going, oh, I'll grab this one, it's cute, that type of thing.
Right. Right.
So that's what we get to. Intrinsic is about finding what somebody really likes and either giving them a little something or praising them, a letter. By the way, here's one of the greatest intrinsic motivators.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't tell everybody.
Okay.
Send an email to them telling them what a great job they did. Copy their boss and up the chain of command.
Right. Right.
Now let's flip that. Send it to the upper boss and copy the employee.
Oh, that's awesome.
When you're doing that, it's letting them know things.
Right.
Now, like everything else, don't overdo any of it.
That's right. That's right. And don't do it too frequently, right? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, don't do it too frequently because all of a sudden it's going to lose its meaning.
right, right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And
So that's where we get to. That's just one of the types of motivation. Go back and study. I want all your listeners to understand this. Go look up, if they haven't looked in a long time, look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
okay. Yeah. Right.
Okay. The first level is all about, substance. They've got to have enough money to live, things like that, food, water, all the shelter.
Right.
The next comes security. They got to feel comfortable. So there's a lot of things today that have changed their security levels on getting in.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you start to get to feeling of belonging.
Right.
And once we get to that feeling of belonging, that's where these intrinsic and extrinsic motivators start to come into play.
Right.
So
those
are things that start to really work on it. So just find ways to motivate, play games, do things of that nature. Just don't think, oh, I got to give them a gift certificate to McDonald's because they did a good job, or an Applebee's or a Chili's or anything like that.
Starbucks, you get those all the time, but
And here's the funny part.
yeah.
I don't like coffee.
Okay. Okay.
People give me Starbucks gift cards.
Right.
I give them to another friend, so I look like the hero.
That's right. Well, I think that's super important because especially in the last, 5 to 8 years where the economy has not been so great, especially as a manager, you don't have a budget where you could actually go out and get something, but doing it the way that you're sharing your examples, Wrigley Extra or something like that, right? Because you go the extra mile, it's not super costly, but it has a punch. It has a powerful punch to kind of give the message that you want to give. So I love
Just
that.
think, the cornier, the dumber it sounds, the better it'll work.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I like it.
Tony, you know me well enough. One of my favorite expressions is, I'm about the we, not the I.
Right.
So
right.
I'll tell people to go out and have a we mockable week.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
It's corny, yet it works.
Yep. I love it. I love it.
It's like Tech Talk Tony. It's kind of corny, but it works.
That's right. That's right. You have to have something to have a message. And actually the real work will be through that work that you're doing, but the message can hopefully, share something. I love that.
I even use the example in teas. When you start to really think about it, it's me, the double G, Gregory, the guy who rocks your world so easily.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll throw things like that out there. It's like, okay.
All right, you're inspiring me. I may have to do something with Tech Talk Tony in a rhyme, but I love it. And most importantly, I think you're right. We have to celebrate the small wins. There's
Yes.
just a lot that goes on. Every day is completely different, and being able to just have something in your pocket that kind of make people smile just a little bit can take them out of the frame of that particular day.
Yeah,
So that's awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, in my book, One Team, One Dream, we talk about the 7 days of the week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got sensational Sunday, magnificent Monday, terrific Tuesday, wonderful Wednesday, thriving Thursday, fabulous Friday, superlative Saturday.
That's funny.
So I tell people, don't ever have a good day and
Right.
have fun with them. When
Right.
people look to me and say, have a good one, I look at them and say, I don't want to.
Right.
And watch their face. Their face will go, well, be negative.
That's
No,
right.
I'm not.
That's right.
Having a good day is like getting a C on a term paper.
Yeah.
While my parents were happy I got it,
That's right.
that's not what I really wanted.
That's right. That's right.
Tony, I was in the upper part of the class that made the upper half possible. So there.
That's right. There you go. Okay. You served a purpose.
Yeah.
I do that when I go bowling. I always say 7 is heaven, 8 is great, 9 is fine. I don't have anything for 10. But anyway, I love that. The days
When you shoot 10, you win.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I've got another one. I like it. All right.
When you hit 10, you win.
I love it. All right, you gave me the last one. I love it. All right. Hey, so well, you passed with flying colors on that first question. Listen, we're gonna have to make this next question a little tougher. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready?
Roger that. We're ready.
All right, here we go. Now, in your book, One Team, One Dream, right? When you talk about getting on the same page, can you share about the old navigational principles? I think there's something there that
Right.
we learned.
And there absolutely is. I want to talk before we get to the principle itself.
Yeah.
Okay. It kind of comes back to getting everybody on the same page, moving in one direction.
Okay.
So a lot of times in my workshops, and I think you've probably sat through this before,
Yes.
I get the whole audience to stand up, close their eyes, turn this direction, turn this direction. I get different people, men turning one way, women turning another way, all kinds of ways to change it around. And I have them point where they think north is.
Right.
And everybody's pointing in a different direction. Then I tell them to open their eyes.
Right.
And when I do that, they start laughing because there's sometimes people pointing at each other.
Oh, right. Right.
And the whole idea is not so they can find north,
Right.
but if the team is all moving in different directions, and that's what I say your team probably looks like, it hits a picture.
Okay.
Okay. And then I turn it around and I have already calculated off of a compass where north is. And by the way, it's always funny. Somebody always points up. I say up does not count.
That's right. That's right.
But I get them all to point in one direction where north is.
Yeah.
And I say, now take a look. And I get clients, the meeting planners, to come up on stage and take those pictures so they can save that back to their group and remind them of the power of that.
Right.
So it's about finding north. So the navigational principles have to kind of start on that old north principle.
Right. Right.
So, if you've ever looked at a map, okay, at some point in time, you've looked at a map and you've seen a little thing with a compass on it type thing, right?
Right.
And if you look out on the outer circle out there, you really do see a star that's straight up and down.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I want you to recognize that star that's straight up and down right now, because that is north. But if you look at my logo that sits in there, it's tilted.
Right.
So in order to understand that, what we've got to do is look and recognize a couple of things.
Okay.
The old principles are called TVMDC.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
It stands for true, variation, magnetic, deviation, compass.
Okay.
So those are the real words. My father taught me as a kid, it means TV makes dumb children. That's how he taught me to remember it. Okay?
Right. That's great.
And you can Google that, and that's one of the answers that pops up for that. So that's kind of fun.